Hey, Maleden, how y'all doing today? I want to do a little video response to my friend Oak and the Mystic. It's weird because a long time ago they had an actual video response where you could actually do a video response and put it to someone's channel, and if they accepted it, it'll be on their channel too. And of course they got rid of that. They got rid of the inbox that used to be on our YouTube thing. They're trying to keep changing different ideas and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I wanted to do a video response to a comment you made on my IMDb 10 worst movies. Uh, it said some of those will never enter my mind. I've seen some that were horrible according to critics that were funny, and then one movie I hated that many people liked and critics liked was No Country for Old Men. I thought it was the biggest piece of crap ever, and I have the same experience. There's like a big disconnect between like the movie going public and critics. And I was just gonna put that in a comment, but sometimes it's easier to do it just in a video because it's movie talk. I remember I grew up with Cisco and Ebert, watching Cisco and Ebert on PBS when they were first. There was sneak previews. I remember I love horror movies. I know growing up, my mother would never let me watch horror movies. I did see some, but she was always trying to get me not to watch this, not to watch this. She'd tell my dad not to let me, and it was crazy. And then I remember in 80 or 81, I mean, because they did like Cisco and Ebert did a special called "The Female's the Victim," and it was about movies like all the slasher movies that were coming out at the time after Halloween. There's a whole slew of them, and including like stuff like the Boogeyman and Silent Scream, and along with Friday the 13th, and that was like that was kind of like my thing. I wrote down a list of those movies I wanted to see, including what Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel considered to be the worst movie ever made was the 1978 Miyazaki film I Spit on Your Grave, which is now called classic. And actually, it became famous because Roger Ebert would always say it's the worst movie ever made. And then Gene Siskel went on to later on in I don't know, 88, 89, it went on to saying Face of Death was the worst movie ever made. Well, anyways, I liked all those movies. And the biggest thing when you said that a lot of critics liked that No Country for Old Men, that was a big piece of crap, I'll tell you the one that I thought that the critics loved and was nominated for Academy Award, which I thought was horrible, was The Thin Red Line. That's like one of the worst World War II movie I ever seen. And it came out the same year as Saving Private Ryan, a great movie, and the critics were saying that Thin Red Line was a better movie than Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan was awesome. Thin Red Line was a bunch of hokey crap. And I agree with you about. I have not seen No Country for Old Men, but I mean it was nominated the same year, and a lot of critics were dismissing Saving Private Ryan, a good movie, as opposed to and saying that Thin Red Line was much better. It was a terrible movie. I remember seeing, and I saw Saving Private Ryan in the theater, and I remember that's back when we used to go see new movies like once a week. We don't do that anymore, but I mean, I remember my dad hated Tom Hanks and dragged him to the theater to see that because it's a Steven Spielberg. It says it's supposed to be really, really good. And my dad walking out and he was saying that was an incredible movie. That's one of my dad's favorite movies. He was saying how incredible it was. He was kind of dumbfounded. He didn't even want to talk about the movie because some of it was so emotional. Just like it's tough for me to talk about Crash because that's an emotional movie that I think that got nominated the same year of No Country for Old Men, or I think, but I'm not sure. That was an emotional movie. And then like a couple weeks later, he wanted to see Thin Red Line, so he went down to see it. And Thin Red Line was terrible. And I mean, at the end of St. Parent, everybody was clapping. And at the end of, because they had things back then where, like at the end of the movie, the audience would be clapping sometimes. It happened a few times. And it happened at the end of Saving Private Ryan. The whole audience was clapping. And then at the end of Thin Red Line, I made it through the whole movie. One person clapped, and that was it. Everyone else was dumbfounded how bad it was. And it was a packed theater, too. So that was a big piece of crap. I'll tell you another piece of crap that a movie that the critics liked, I remember Cisco and Ebert liked, was My Dinner with Andre. And I thought it sounded interesting. and it was on PBS back when I was in middle school. I mean, not high school. I started watching it. It's like, oh my god, is this boring? It's about two guys talking over dinner. And I thought maybe they talk about something interesting, but they talk about crap. It was terrible. Now I know there was a show called My Breakfast with Blassie with Andy Kaufman and Classy Freddie Blassie, which I would love to see. I heard about it on video. It's made for video. It's a spoof of that. I'd love to see that movie. I've not seen that anywhere. Maybe I should start looking up on YouTube. That might be on there. I don't know. But there's a giant disconnect between critics and between film critics and movie going public. They even had something with when Chris Rock was hosting. Oh wow, was hosting the Academy Awards. They did something where they interviewed people on the street, thinking what movies are popular now, and there was like a big disconnect between the movies that were nominated for Best Picture and what the audiences thought were good. And even one guy said Saw, and the whole audience gasped. You know, I like the Saw movies, but the critics hated them for the most part. And I'll never forget. I'm going to close out the video. I just wanted to let you know. I'll never forget. I'm a big. Well, I know you're not on Facebook and stuff like that, but I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this video on Facebook and on my Facebook group along, and I want to let you know about it. I'll post it up on here too. And I'm a big fan. I'll never forget. Gene Siskel said this. Probably one of the most bogus. Well, before I say that, there was another girl. They used to have something called Hot Ticket with. It used to be like a whole format show with a guy interviewing like four other people about movies, and then it just became Leonard Maltin and this other girl reviewing movies, and they reviewed that Dark Blue, I think it was, and I think it was a cop movie with Kurt Russell, and that one girl said, "Boy, I forgot what a great actor Kurt Russell is." You're a film critic. Kurt Russell's a great actor. You know what I mean? And I was shocked at that, but what I was really shocked at, and this is the one movie review I'll never forget. Gene Siskel did this a long time ago, back when they were doing Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert at the movies. They left sneak previews, and I was a huge Chuck Norris fan. I still am, but he doesn't do movies anymore. In the '80s, '70s, and especially in the '80s, I love Chuck Norris movies in the '80s. And when Lone Wolf McQuade came out, which is a great movie, Gene Siskel said he didn't like it. He said it had too much action in it. That's the dumbest movie review I've ever heard. I remember me and my friend John Walkwitz talking about that. It was terrible. And I'll never. I got to put this on. I'm giving John, my friend John Walkwitz, a shout out too. Uh, I'll never forget when Gene Siskel reviewed that and said it was too much action. That's crazy. So, anyways, I just wanted to address your comment, Woody, my friend Oaken Mystic, and thank you for always commenting and being so kind on my videos. And hey, until next time. Take care, Woody, and let's see what this looks like. I usually go to take care of my Legion. Look, see. That looks so weird. Okay. Take care, my Legion. Looks so weird. Alright, take care, everybody. That's a strange effect, a whirlpool effect. Isn't it? Alright, take care.